Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, commander of legions, ruler of millions, engaged in a daily practice that sounds almost mystical. He would close his eyes and systematically expand his perspective, starting from where he sat, rising above his palace, above Rome, above Italy, above the Mediterranean, above the earth itself, until he was viewing all of existence from the perspective of the cosmos. This practice, which scholars call the view from above, appears throughout his meditations. It was not escapism. It was not detachment in the sense of not caring. It was a precise philosophical exercise designed to accomplish something specific, to see reality in its proper proportions. Marcus writes in Book 7, Asia and Europe are corners of the universe. Every sea is a drop in the universe. Mount Athos is a clod of earth in the universe. The present moment is a point in eternity. All things are tiny, easily changed, vanishing away. This is not nihilism. This is not diminishing what matters. This is about seeing clearly what scale things actually exist on, and recognizing your proper place within the whole. Let me explain what Marcus actually practiced, and why this shift in perspective was central to his philosophy. The nature of perspective. Human beings are trapped in a particular perspective by default. You experience reality from one viewpoint, your own. You see the world through your eyes, filtered through your concerns, measured against your desires and fears. This is not wrong, it's the necessary condition of embodied consciousness. But it's partial. It's incomplete. And it distorts. From your perspective, your problems are enormous. Your concerns dominate your awareness. Your pain feels central to existence. Your desires seem reasonable, your fears justified, your grievances legitimate. But Marcus understood something that modern psychology has confirmed: perspective is malleable. You can, through deliberate practice, shift your viewpoint. And when you do, what seemed overwhelming can become manageable. What seemed central can be seen as peripheral. What seemed permanent can be recognized as temporary. He writes, everything is only for a day, both that which remembers and that which is remembered. This is the view from above. Deliberately shifting your perspective to see your life in the context of larger and larger scales, spatial, temporal, and cosmic. The practice, spatial expansion. Marcus practiced this systematically. He would begin with where he was, imagine him in his study, dealing with some crisis of empire. A province in rebellion. A general's betrayal. A political intrigue. From his immediate position, these problems are urgent, personal, and all-consuming. But then he begins the practice. First, he imagines rising above his immediate location. He sees the palace from above, recognizing it as one building among many. Already, his problem becomes smaller. It's one concern within one building in a city. Then he rises higher. He sees Rome from above, the Forum, the Tiber, the hills, the sprawling city of 1 million people. His problem is now one concern among countless dramas playing out simultaneously across the city. Higher still, and he sees Italy. Rome becomes a point on a peninsula. The province in rebellion. Just one territory among many, a speck of land on a vast continent. Higher, and the Mediterranean appears, that sea which Rome considered the center of civilization becomes a puddle, surrounded by continents. The betraying general. A single human among millions living and dying around this small sea. Higher still, Earth from space, the blue sphere Marcus never actually saw but could imagine. All of human history, every war, every empire, every person who has ever lived, confined to the thin skin of this planet. Is the political intrigue consuming his attention? An invisible ripple on an invisible speck. And finally, the cosmic view, Earth itself becomes a point of light among countless points. The sun, one star among billions. The universe, vast beyond comprehension, in which this entire crisis is quite literally beneath notice. Marcus writes, look down from above on the countless gatherings and countless ceremonies, and every sort of voyage in storm and calm, and the disputes between those being born, living together, and dying. The temporal expansion. But Marcus adds another dimension to this practice: time. He would not only expand spatially but temporally. He would consider how long his problems would matter, measured against different time scales. In the next hour? Probably still urgent. Tomorrow? Perhaps less so. Next week? Likely forgotten. Next year? Certainly irrelevant. In 10 years? Not even a memory. He writes, "Remember how long you've been putting this off, how many extensions the gods gave you, and you didn't use them. At some point, you have to recognize what world it is that you belong to, what power rules it, and from what source you spring." But he goes further. He considers the span of a human life, 70, 80 years if you're fortunate. In that span, how many concerns that seemed critical have already vanished from memory? How many crises dissolved? How many fears proved groundless? Then he expands to historical time. Rome has existed for, in his time, about 900 years. But before Rome? Other empires, now dust. And after Rome? He knows, though perhaps doesn't want to admit, that Rome too will eventually fall. He considers geological time. The mountains that seem eternal are themselves temporary formations. The Mediterranean was not always there. The continents shift. What seems permanent is just slow change. And finally, cosmic time. The universe itself, in Stoic cosmology, goes through eternal cycles of creation and destruction. Everything that exists will eventually return to elemental fire, only to be born again in an endless cycle. Marcus writes, "Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and already carried past us, and another follows and is gone." The purpose. Right-sizing reality. So what is this practice actually for? It's not to make you feel insignificant. It's not to suggest that nothing matters. It's about right-sizing reality. Most human suffering comes from assigning the wrong scale to things. We treat temporary problems as permanent. We treat local concerns as cosmic. We treat our particular perspective as a universal truth. Marcus observed that people suffer most intensely when this scale is distorted. The person who treats a minor insult as an existential threat suffers unnecessarily. The person who believes their current circumstances will last forever suffers from illusion. The person who thinks the universe cares about their particular desires suffers from confusion about the nature of reality. He writes, "The universe is change, life is opinion." Your suffering is not from events themselves but from your judgment about events. And your judgment is distorted by perspective. When you practice the view from above, you restore proper proportion. Not to make things meaningless, but to see them clearly. The problem that seemed overwhelming. From a cosmic perspective, it's small. This doesn't mean you don't address it. It means you address it without the added suffering that comes from believing it's larger than it is. The insult that felt devastating. From the perspective of your whole life, it's a moment. This doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It means you don't let a moment define your existence. The failure that felt final. From a historical perspective, it's one outcome among countless others, all eventually forgotten. This doesn't mean it doesn't matter now. It means you recognize its actual scale. The paradox, smaller yet more connected. Here's where the practice becomes profound. You might think that seeing yourself as tiny in a vast cosmos would be depressing, would make you feel isolated and meaningless. But Marcus discovered the opposite. When you zoom out, yes, you become smaller. But you also become more connected. From your immediate perspective, you're separate, an individual dealing with individual problems. But from the cosmic view, you're part of a unified whole. You're one cell in a living organism. One note in a vast symphony. One wave in an infinite ocean. Marcus writes, constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul. And observe how all things have reference to one perception, the perception of this one living being. You are not separate from the cosmos looking at it. You are the cosmos becoming aware of itself in this particular location. Your consciousness is the universe's consciousness. Your rationality is the universe's rationality temporarily localized in your body. This is what the Stoics meant by sympathia, the cosmic sympathy, the interconnection of all things. When you see from above, you recognize that you're not struggling alone against an indifferent universe. You're part of the universe. Your life is the universe living itself. Marcus continues, all things are mutually woven together, and the bond is sacred. The ethical dimension. But this practice has ethical implications. When you see from above, you see not just your life but all lives. You see countless humans, each believing their concerns are central, each suffering, each striving, each eventually dying. And from this view, certain things become clear. The petty conflicts that consume so much energy, from above, they're absurd. People fighting over territories that are specks on specks. People hating each other over differences that, from a cosmic scale, are invisible. Marcus writes, how small a part of the boundless and unfathomable time is assigned to every man, for it is very soon swallowed up in the eternal. And how small a part of the whole substance, and how small a part of the universal soul. This doesn't lead to nihilism. It leads to compassion. Because if your suffering is small in cosmic terms, so is everyone else's. If your concerns are temporary, so are theirs. If you're struggling within a limited perspective, so are they. The person who wrongs you. They're operating from their limited view, believing their concerns justify their actions. The enemy general. He's defending what he believes matters, from his perspective. The political rival. She's pursuing what seems important to her, within her frame. None of these excuses wrong action. But it explains it. And understanding it makes responding to it with wisdom rather than rage possible. Marcus writes, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself. The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. From the cosmic view, you recognize that everyone is doing the best they can with the understanding they have. And this recognition makes patience, forgiveness, and appropriate action possible. The practice of return. But here's the crucial part, after you expand to cosmic perspective, you return. You come back down. You zoom back in. You return to your immediate circumstances. This is not an escape. This is recalibration. You've seen your problem from a cosmic scale, it's small. But you're not cosmic. You're human. You exist at the human scale. And at the human scale, your problem still needs addressing. The difference is that now you can address it without the distortion. You can act without the desperation that comes from believing this problem is everything. You can engage without the attachment that comes from thinking this outcome is final. Marcus writes, concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice. The view from above doesn't make you care less. It makes you act more effectively. Because you're not paralyzed by false urgency. You're not driven by exaggerated importance. You're seeing clearly and acting appropriately. The integration. Marcus practiced this daily, sometimes multiple times per day. It became a habit of mind, the ability to shift perspective rapidly when caught in emotional intensity. Dealing with a difficult senator. Zoom out. See the Senate from above. See Rome from above. See this moment in the span of centuries. Then zoom back in and respond with equanimity. Receiving bad news from the frontier. Zoom out. See the frontier in context. See the empire in historical time. See your reaction from outside yourself. Then zoom back in and make the necessary decisions without panic. Facing your own mortality. The ultimate zoom out. See your life from beginning to end as a single arc. See that arc in human history. See human history in cosmic time. Then zoom back into this present moment and live it fully, knowing it's temporary. He writes, you can discard most of the junk that clutters your mind, things that exist only there. And clear out space for yourself by comprehending the scale of the world, by contemplating infinite time, by thinking of the speed with which things change. The modern application. This practice remains available. You don't need to be an emperor. You don't need special training. You need only the willingness to shift perspective. When you're overwhelmed, stop. Close your eyes. Begin the expansion. See yourself from above. Rise higher. See your city, your country, your planet, the cosmos. Watch your problem shrink to its actual size. Then ask, in 100 years, will this matter? In 1,000? In the span of all time? This doesn't make the problem disappear. It makes it addressable. Then zoom back in. Return to where you are. Act on what's in front of you with clarity, knowing it's temporary, knowing it's small, but knowing it's yours to address right now. Marcus Aurelius, with all the power of Rome behind him, with the weight of empire on his shoulders, found peace not in control but in perspective. He couldn't control the barbarians at the borders. He couldn't control the plague sweeping through his empire. He couldn't control the betrayals, the disappointments, the inevitable decline. But he could control his view of these things. He could see them from above. He could recognize their proper scale. He could understand his proper place within the cosmic order. And from that understanding came not resignation but engagement. Not detachment but appropriate action. Not meaninglessness but the right knowledge of what meaning actually consists in. He writes near the end of his life, remember, matter. How tiny your share of it. Time. How brief and fleeting your allotment of it. Fate. How small a role you play in it. This is not despair. This is liberation. Because once you recognize how small your share is, you stop trying to possess more than is yours. Once you recognize how brief your time is, you stop wasting it on what doesn't matter. Once you recognize your small role in fate, you stop demanding the universe conform to your will. And in that recognition, in that view from above, you discover the freedom to live fully in the small space you actually occupy, in the brief time you actually have, playing your small role with virtue and dignity. Practice the view from above. Not to escape your life, but to see it clearly. Not to make your problems meaningless, but to right-size them. Not to feel insignificant, but to recognize your place in the magnificent, interconnected whole. This is what Marcus taught. This is what Marcus practiced. This is what made it possible for him to rule with wisdom in impossible circumstances. And it's available to you right now.